Aarav had always believed in love, the kind that movies glorified, the kind that made people feel alive. When he met Rhea, he thought he had finally found that love. She was charming, affectionate, and made him feel like the most special man in the world. From the very beginning, she showered him with attention, always texting fast, planning dates, and whispering words that made his heart race. "You're the kindest, most genuine man I've ever met," she would say, holding his hand tightly. Aarav felt lucky, but love, as he would soon learn, wasn't always what it seemed. At first, things were perfect. Rhea was always there, always making him feel wanted. But then, small things began to change. She stopped reaching for her wallet when they went out. It started with little comments: "You're the man, it's only natural for you to take care of me." Aarav didn't mind at first. He was raised to believe that a man provides, protects, and nurtures. He told himself that it was love, that it was his duty. Soon, those small expenses turned into something bigger. Rhea wanted a new phone, a designer handbag, vacations to places she had always dreamed of visiting. When Aarav hesitated, she pouted, her eyes filling with tears. "Don't you love me? Why do you make me beg for things when I never ask for much?" He felt guilty, ashamed even, for making her feel that way. He convinced himself that love meant sacrifice. But the more he gave, the more she demanded. Then came the control. It was subtle at first. She wanted to spend more time together, which felt flattering. But soon, she started questioning his every move. If he wanted to go out with friends, she would sulk. "I guess they are more important than me," she would say. If he spoke to his female colleagues, she accused him of hiding something. "Why do you need to talk to other women when you have me?" Aarav started declining invitations, stopped meeting friends. The few times he did, he found himself looking at his phone, dreading the messages she would send. "Enjoy. Clearly, I don't matter." He thought he was being a good boyfriend by keeping her happy. What he didn't realize was that he was slowly being isolated. Then, one day, Rhea announced she had quit her job. "I want to focus on us," she said sweetly. "I want to be the kind of woman who supports her man without distractions." Aarav was taken aback but said nothing. She started depending on him for everything: rent, groceries, outings. His expenses skyrocketed, but whenever he tried to bring it up, she got defensive. "Money means more to you than I do." He backed down. After all, wasn't love about supporting each other? But love, he soon realized, wasn't about power and control. The fight started small. Rhea would pick apart his words, twist them into something he never meant. If he disagreed with her, she would burst into tears, screaming that he was cruel and unloving. "I gave up everything for you, and this is how you treat me." She would break things, threaten to leave, and then, in the same breath, beg him to hold her. Aarav started walking on eggshells, terrified of upsetting her. He wasn't leaving, he was surviving. One evening, exhausted from work, he decided to go home early. As he entered the apartment, he heard laughter coming from the bedroom. A man's voice. His heart pounded. He pushed the door open and saw Rhea on a video call, giggling, her expression different, carefree, radiant, a version of herself he hadn't seen in months. "Who is that?" His voice was barely a whisper. Rhea didn't flinch. She simply smiled and ended the call. "Oh, don't be dramatic. He's just a friend." A knot formed in Aarav's stomach. Something felt off. That night, he couldn't sleep. A part of him wanted to believe her, but another part, one he had buried under layers of denial, knew the truth. The next morning, he checked his bank statements. His stomach dropped. Large amounts of money had been transferred from his account to hers over the past few months. He had never noticed, never thought to check. When he confronted her, she laughed. "I deserve it. After everything I've done for you, you should be thanking me." That was the moment it hit him. She never loved him. She loved what he could provide. Aarav packed his bags that night. She screamed, threatened to call the police, told him she would ruin his life. But for the first time in months, he didn't care. Walking away was the hardest thing he had ever done, but it was also the most liberating. It took time to rebuild himself. It took even longer to forgive himself for ignoring the red flags. He knew the truth: love should never be a weapon, and no one should ever make you feel